It started small, like it always does. A download, a delivery, just another Tuesday, you know? You're scrolling, bored, lunch break dragging, that's when I saw it. The app, it promised to reveal my true self. Stupid, right? But those personality quizzes get you, they know. This one felt different. The questions were off. Do you prefer sunrises or sunsets? Okay, normal. Have you ever lied about a death in the family? Wait, what? What's the last thing you'd say to someone you love? That one stuck with me. I finished the quiz, tried to forget about it. Big mistake. That night, things got weird. My phone was acting up, glitching. The personality app was open, but there was a new tab, Echoes. I tapped it. A list appeared, dates, times, locations, like some creepy itinerary. March 14th, 3:17 a.m., my bedroom closet. March 15th, 6:30 p.m., highway exit 42. The first entry was for tonight. 3:17 a.m., my closet. I laughed. It was a joke, right? Some stupid prank. I deleted the app, tried to sleep. But at 3:17 a.m., my closet door creaked open. I froze, phone in my hand, heart hammering. Something moved inside the closet, shuffling, wet sounds, like damp socks dragging across the carpet. Then the smell hit me, sickly sweet, rotten like old fruit sealed in a jar. Morning light weak and gray through the blinds. I got up cautiously, like something might be waiting. The closet door was closed. Of course, I told myself it was a nightmare. Stress, too much takeout. I checked my phone and there it was, the app. Back on my home screen, like it had never been deleted. The Echoes tab was still there. More entries, more dates. Closer this time. April 2nd, 2 o'clock a.m., your shower. April 5th, 7:15 p.m., your mother's house. The app wouldn't delete. I tried everything, factory reset, nothing worked. This was insane, it was just an app, right? But the fear was a knot in my stomach. Tightening. Every time my phone buzzed, I flinched. This couldn't be real. Days went by, each one a little darker, a little stranger. I kept seeing the dates, the times, they were burned into my brain. I started hearing things too, whispers, just at the edge of my hearing. When I was home alone, my reflection in the mirror didn't look right. My eyes seemed different. Was I going crazy? Maybe this was all in my head, but deep down I knew this was real. The app, the echoes, they were changing things, changing me. I felt so alone. April 2nd came way too fast. I tried, to stay awake, to fight it, but exhaustion won out in the end. I woke with a start. 1:58 a.m. the shower. I could hear the water running. No, it couldn't be. I hadn't left it on. I crept down the hallway. Each step felt so heavy. Dread just coiled around me. The bathroom door was open. Steam billowed out, and through the fogged glass I saw it. A shape in the shower. Long limbs contorting, moving like a spider in the drain. I slammed the door shut, backed away. My breath caught in my throat. I couldn't scream, couldn't move. The next morning the bathroom was empty. Steamy, but empty. As if nothing had happened. But I knew better. The app had a new entry. Highway exit 42. Tonight, 6:30 p.m. Look behind you. Fear warred with curiosity. I had to know. What was waiting for me out there? At dusk, I drove. Pulse pounding in my ears. I found myself parked beneath a flickering streetlight. Exit 42. Just like the app said. My phone buzzed. A notification. Look behind you. I looked in the rearview mirror and gasped. Standing in the middle of the road was me. Another me, but wrong, twisted. Its mouth was stretched wide, a grotesque grin, teeth like shards of glass. I slammed my foot on the accelerator. The car lurched forward. The app was still on my phone. The dates kept coming, and sometimes when I was alone, I could hear it, my own voice, humming through the vents. The entries in the Echoes tab were relentless. Each one felt like a hammer blow to my sanity. Names, dates, times, all specific, all pointing to moments in my future. The fear became a constant companion, a shadow I just couldn't shake. I tried to rationalize it. A prank? A virus? But deep down, a primal instinct screamed that something was deeply, terribly wrong. My reflection in the mirror was increasingly unfamiliar. My own eyes seemed to hold this strange new depth, a darkness that sent chills down my spine. Sleep offered no escape. Haunted by nightmares of distorted figures and echoing whispers, the line between reality and the app's sinister pronouncements blurred with each passing day. The app had become an insidious parasite, worming its way into every aspect of my life. My every thought, every action seemed to revolve around the next chilling entry. I was a prisoner in my own life, the bars of my cell forged from fear and uncertainty. I felt utterly alone, lost in a labyrinth of my own terror. Desperate, I sought answers in the sterile glow of my laptop screen. I scoured the internet for any mention of the app, any other poor soul ensnared in its web of horror. But my searches yielded nothing but dead ends and cryptic forum posts that hinted at a darkness I couldn't comprehend. The more I learned, or rather didn't learn, the more I realized the true depth of my predicament. I even considered going to the police, but the words caught in my throat. How could I possibly explain this? They would think I was delusional, paranoid, and what proof did I have? An app that shouldn't exist, a growing list of terrifying premonitions, and a fear so profound it threatened to consume me from the inside out. Days turned into weeks, each one an agonizing countdown to the next entry on the list. I was a puppet dancing to the app's malevolent tune, my every move dictated by its sinister pronouncements. My life had become a waking nightmare, and I was trapped in its terrifying embrace. One entry in particular sent a chill down my spine. May 26th, 10 o'clock p.m., City Park, North Entrance. He remembers you. The words hung over me like a shroud, their meaning as opaque as the black mirror of my phone screen. Who remembered me? And what did it mean? Despite the terror that gnawed at my insides, a flicker of defiance ignited within me. I would not be a passive observer in my own demise. This time, I would be ready. On the appointed night, I found myself drawn to the park, a moth to the app's sinister flame. The air was heavy with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves, the only sound the rustling of branches in the wind. A thick fog rolled in, obscuring the world beyond the small circle of light cast by a nearby street lamp. My heart pounded against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the stillness. As the clock ticked closer to 10 o'clock p.m., I saw him, a figure emerging from the fog, tall and imposing, his features shrouded in shadow. He moved with an unsettling grace, his steps silent on the damp pavement. He stopped a few feet away, his head tilted slightly as if studying me. "You came," he rasped, his voice a low growl that seemed to emanate from the very depths of my soul. I could barely breathe, my body paralyzed by fear. And then, as the fog swirled around him, I saw his face. It was my face, or at least a grotesque mockery of it. My features were stretched and distorted, my eyes burning with a cold, malevolent light. The app's words echoed in my mind. "He remembers you." Terror lent me a burst of adrenaline. I turned and ran, the sound of my own ragged breathing the only soundtrack to my desperate flight. But I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that this was only the beginning. The app had shown me the truth, a truth far more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. The package was there when I got home, just sitting on the welcome mat. There was no return address, no stamp, nothing. Just my name, Jessica, scrawled in jagged red Sharpie. It honestly felt like a threat. My pulse quickened, and I hadn't ordered anything. Who would send me something like this? Hesitantly, I picked it up. It was surprisingly heavy, and cold too, almost like it had been in a freezer. I took it inside and set it on the kitchen counter. Didn't want to touch it any more than I had to. My hand trembled as I peeled back the packing tape. Inside, nestled in styrofoam peanuts, was a VHS tape. A VHS tape. I mean, who even used those anymore? A wave of dizziness just washed over me. My reflection in the microwave window seemed distorted, unreal. The air felt thick, heavy. I just couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. Frank, my neighbor, is a bit of a tech hoarder. His garage is basically a graveyard for outdated electronics. He actually has a working VCR. I know, right? Who even knew those things still worked? So I took the tape to him. Mind taking a look at this, Frank? I tried to sound casual, but my voice came out shaky. No clue what's on it. He just grinned, his eyes twinkling behind those thick glasses. Love a good mystery, Jessica. Leave it with me. 2 days later, he called me, his voice all hushed. Jessica, you better come over here. You need to see this. Frank's face was pale, his hands trembling just a bit as he ejected the tape from the VCR. The footage had been unsettling, to say the least. It was all grainy, black and white, static at first. Then, an image flickered onto the screen. My living room. But it was empty, except for the couch, the same couch I had just bought last month. The date on the screen read, September 14th, 2024, next Thursday. Frank's voice was tight with unease. Some kind of prank, you think? Before I could answer, the screen flickered again. This time, something was different. A figure. It crawled into view, limbs bent at unnatural angles, spine arched like a question mark. Its face was just a blur, a mess of static and shadows. It dragged itself towards the camera, its movements jerky and unsettling. And then the screen just cut to snow. Don't bring that thing back here, Jessica. Frank's voice was firm, his eyes wide with fear. I couldn't sleep that night. The image of that thing crawling towards the camera, towards me, was burned into my mind. I kept replaying the date in my head. September 14th, 2024. Next Thursday. My living room. Every night I rearranged the furniture in my living room, pushed the couch against the wall, stacked books where the figure had crawled. But each morning I'd wake up to find everything back in its place, as if an unseen force was resetting my apartment, preparing it for... what? Last night I heard it. A scratching sound. Nails on hardwood, coming from the living room. And this morning the VHS tape was back on my doorstep, rewound, waiting. Panic seized me. The app, the tape, they were connected. I could feel it in my gut, a cold, hard knot of certainty. I had to do something, anything to stop this. My fingers flew across my phone's screen, a frantic dance of desperation. I deleted the app, again. This time, I went further, erecting digital barricades, installing every security program I could find. The app vanished from my home screen, but the victory felt hollow. The damage was done. The entries were seared into my memory. Dates, times, locations, all pointing towards some inevitable, horrifying climax. My phone felt hot in my hand, a tangible symbol of the unseen force that had latched onto me. Sleep was a distant memory, a luxury I could no longer afford. Every creak of the floorboards, every sigh of the wind against my window sent a jolt of fear through me. I was a prisoner in my own home, the walls seemingly closing in, the air thick with a sense of unseen menace. My sanctuary had become my prison. The fear wasn't confined to the digital world anymore. It had bled into my reality, staining everything with a sense of dread. Even in broad daylight, the city streets felt different, the faces in the crowd distorted, masks hiding a chilling familiarity. My reflection in shop windows startled me. A stranger staring back, eyes too knowing, a ghost of a smile playing on her lips. Even technology, once a source of comfort and connection, had become suspect. The hum of my refrigerator morphed into whispered threats, the flicker of the television screen into fleeting glimpses of distorted figures. I was surrounded by the mundane, yet each object seemed imbued with a sinister energy, a potential conduit for the terror that stalked me. The line between what was real and what was a product of the app's insidious influence blurred with each passing moment. Was I going crazy? Or had the world around me truly tilted on its axis, revealing a hidden layer of horror beneath the surface of the everyday? The uncertainty was its own special kind of torture. Frank called, his voice tight with concern. "Jessica, are you all right? You haven't been answering my calls." I wanted to tell him everything, to unload the weight of terror that pressed down on me, but how could I explain the unexplainable? He would think I was losing my mind. He already did. "I'm fine, Frank," I managed, my voice strained. "Just been busy." The lie tasted like ash in my mouth. The truth was, I was falling apart. The app, the tape, the figures, they were tearing me down piece by piece. I felt a surge of defiance, a desperate need to reclaim some semblance of control. I went back to Frank's garage, a sense of urgency driving me. The VCR sat on his workbench, a silent sentinel. I ejected the tape, the plastic case cold against my palm. This time I wouldn't just watch, I would fight back. I grabbed a screwdriver, the metal cold and reassuringly solid in my hand. I was going to dismantle this thing, piece by piece, until there was nothing left but a pile of harmless plastic and metal. I had to believe I could rewrite this ending. I had to. The dates keep coming, each one a tiny hammer blow to my soul. I see them everywhere, on billboards, on receipts, scrawled across bathroom stalls. The app is gone, but the echoes remain. I smashed the VHS tape, smashed the VCR too. Frank won't talk to me anymore. He says I need help. Maybe he's right. But what good is a therapist when the walls themselves seem to breathe? Sometimes late at night I hear the scratching sound again. Closer now, right outside my bedroom door. It's waiting for me. I know it is. And the worst part, sometimes I swear, I can hear it whispering my name.